Hello friends, this is Queen's Food for Thought. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to my channel. This YouTube channel has been created to inspire, to motivate, to encourage self-love and healing through mine and other people's real-life experiences. On this channel, I will be speaking about an array of topics such as narcissistic abuse, self-love, mental health awareness, and much, much more. I have decided to start this YouTube channel because I've realised I've learnt a lot of lessons on this journey called life. I've conquered a lot of demons and healed a lot of past trauma. So I think it's only right to share my experiences in hopes of helping others to heal also. Trust me, the world can be such a beautiful place if you just believe in yourself and take the vital steps towards healing. So stick around, like, comment, share and subscribe. You may find we all have more in common than we think. And on that note, let's kick off with a topic that I will be addressing in this video.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, I will be addressing the dreaded imposter syndrome. Now, before I get into this topic, let me give you a quick rundown of what imposter syndrome really is.
Imposter syndrome, also known as imposter phenomenon or imposterism, is a psychological occurrence in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud.
Now, I would imagine that this topic strikes a chord with a lot of people, myself included. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of a vulnerable moment here. You see, as a child growing up, and I suppose into the beginning of my adulthood, I was deemed as academically challenged due to my dyslexia, which was not formally addressed until I entered adulthood. When I attended secondary school during the 90s, most of my teachers just assumed that I was lazy or not willing to learn. But the truth was, I just couldn't absorb information as well as my other classmates. Not many people had high hopes for me. And to be honest with you, I didn't really have any high hopes for myself either. I can categorically say that this is exactly where my own imposter syndrome stemmed from. What a lot of people fail to realise is that a person's self-confidence or lack thereof sometimes tends to stem from childhood. Well, at least from my own experience, I deem this to be true. You see, if a child is constantly being told or made to feel like they are less than, that thought process can carry on into adulthood. This can sometimes lead a person into all sorts of misfortune and dangerous situations in their adulthood, such as crime, drug abuse, and depression because of lack of confidence and not believing that they can do or be any better. So, do you have imposter syndrome? Well, here are 5 telltale signs of imposter syndrome and some ideas of what you can do to overcome your struggles. Number 1, you minimize your efforts when others acknowledge it. Minimizing usually shows up in your response to praise. For example, you might say, I had lots of help with it, or I just got lucky. Basically, you get this really uncomfortable feeling when someone gives you praise or says, wow, job well done, or maybe even acknowledges your talents. One way to overcome this feeling, which works for me every single time, is by looking into the mirror and telling yourself, yes, you are amazing, you are worthy, you are talented, and you deserve all the praise that you get. Trust me, it works every time. Remember, it is perfectly fine to celebrate yourself, and this should be done on a daily basis until you genuinely believe it. You must remember to celebrate yourself and your accomplishments, because if you don't, then who will? Celebrating yourself doesn't mean that you're being arrogant. It just means that you are loving and appreciating yourself, and that is a really healthy form of self-love. Now, please don't get it twisted. I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. And this is really a hard one for me sometimes. But anytime I feel like I'm in doubt about my talents or my accomplishments, I look in the mirror and I tell myself, I am worthy. Remember, you are worthy too. Number 2, you get lost in perfection. People with imposter syndrome often feel that their mistakes will reveal their incompetence. They hold themselves to an impossible standard and get stuck in detail. You might find yourself poring over assignments, micromanaging, or taking longer than others to finish work because you want to ensure everything is just right. But you must remember, Rome was not built in a day. Take your time. Don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, you never stop learning until you take your last breath. Number 3, you have a fear of not living up to other people's expectations. Now, when you care too much about living up to other people's expectations, it may be time for you to sit back and figure out what your why is. For example, why do you want to study a particular course? Do you want to study to better yourself and to reach your own personal goals? Or are you just doing it because that is what is expected of you by parents and other family members? We are not created to fulfill other people's expectations because doing that can actually set you up for failure. You must enjoy what you do and only focus on living up to your own expectations. One way to do this is by implementing healthy boundaries. Thank them for their advice, but let them know that you are going to do what is best for you and they need to back off, respectfully. Number 4, self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage can seem contradictory when dealing with imposter syndrome. This is because, as I mentioned before, you also want to be seen as someone who never fails and aims to be a perfectionist. But you must remember that imposter syndrome also involves low self-confidence. Of course, you take extreme care in the work that you do, but because you believe that you don't deserve to be in the position that you are in, you might also hurt your chances by ensuring that your work doesn't get seen. For example, you might pass up on opportunities to network with other people who are in a higher position than you, or avoid other self-promotion. Now, this can be a hard one to tackle, but one way to get over this hurdle is by reminding yourself that everyone has to start from somewhere. For example, a CEO of a multi-million-pound company might have started off by fetching tea and coffee for the CEO who came before them. But with determination and self-belief, the coffee fetcher has now become the CEO. You see, it's all about your own mindset. You belong wherever you believe you belong, irrespective of your background. So decide today, do you want to be the coffee fetcher for the rest of your life? Or do you want to be the CEO? It's all down to you and your belief system. Number 5, you are reluctant to ask for what you deserve. The feelings of inadequacy involved in imposter syndrome can mean that you fail to negotiate for what you want, need, or deserve. For example, you might not ask for a raise when work has increased in quantity or skill level because you don't feel like you deserve an increase, or somehow you would be a nuisance for asking. You also might not speak up about simple daily challenges like the room's temperature or the fit of your desk. Instead, you tell yourself that you should be able to tolerate those inconveniences. Imposter syndrome is a very complex issue when you're going through it. You tend to brush things under the carpet. But it's time, from today onwards, find some kind of support system, find someone to speak to. Your feelings matter too, and you are also important. I struggled with imposter syndrome for many, many years, which unfortunately delayed a lot of my life goals and achievements. But it came to a point where I had to face my fears, otherwise I wouldn't be able to achieve any of my dreams and goals that I had set for myself. Well, I'm proud to say that in 2022, at the ripe old age of 42, I graduated from university, and not long after that, I started working in one of my dream jobs. Yes, people, it actually took me that long to get over my own imposter syndrome and self-doubt. But I finally did, and I must say I am so proud of myself. Now, was it easy? No. Did I often feel out of place and like I didn't belong? Yeah, well, most days. But at the end of the day, I did it. Yes, me. This 42-year-old mature student, single mother of two, who was told she couldn't achieve much due to her dyslexia. Yes, I did it. I achieved one of my goals and conquered one of my fears. Trust me, if I can do it, you can too. Just believe in yourself and go after what you want in life. And on that note, I would like to end this topic here. But before I go, I'd just like to say, please be kind, because you never know what someone else is going through. This has been Queen's Food for Thought. And until next time, I wish you love, joy, and abundance.